So let's talk about aerial combat. You were off the ground for a good, close to a minute there. Talk about, why that is a key feature in the new DMC.
Got like angel and demon abilities,
okay.
and in creating those abilities, the fighting naturally started getting off the ground, and it was fun to do that. So we kind of went further down that line, and Capcom Japan were really kind of excited about it because they were looking for a spin on combat, something we could do to make it different from the previous DMCs.
I've always been a big fan of Ninja Theory and just your color palette with the games like Heavenly Sword and like Enslave. Your color palette is pretty great, and DMC is no different. Talk about keeping DMC but dark, but very, very colorful and bright and alive.
There's a concept of a demon dimension that affects our real world, and the real world is actually quite subdued, depressed. It's kind of grayer, and when Dante gets pulled into this demon dimension, it's just much more angry and visceral, and it feels more real in a sense. It's the truth behind the illusion we all live in a way. And I think it's just our ethos as a studio our art directors, we like to put color into our games.
Right. From art, let's go into music. One key feature that I like in games is when music's always constantly changing and evolving depending on how you progress. That's something that's really neat in DMC as you're fighting. Talk about that.
Like the music responds to your ranking system, so however the better you play, the more layers of music kick in. And if you get to the top ranks, then the vocals, it's like the screaming vocals just kick in, and it kind of affects you when you're playing because you're doing well.
Talk about Dante's attitude. Has that changed at all? Now that he's a lot younger, is he more of a jackass, a lot cockier? Or is he just very green and very naive?
I'd say he's green and naive. I'd say he just doesn't give a
Good answer. I saw an epic sequence at the very end where the actual environment was collapsing around him, and that was really unique.
We wanted to find a reason why the walls would close in and trap you like the classic DMCs do. So we had the concept of a city that was alive. So not only does it trap you, it spawns enemies like it would do blood cells. And it reacts to you, so as you're walking along, parts of it will change, almost like repelled by you. It's like a malignant cancer, it bleeds.
Dante's like the ultimate hybrid of Scorpion meets Kratos meets God knows what. Can you talk about his fighting style? Like, what inspired his awesomeness?
Growing up in a situation where the demons are out to kill him, society in general, controlled by the demons, is out to crush him. Growing up on the street, so he's more of a street brawler.
Okay.
His moves are less refined than you would have seen in previous DMCs. But I believe that if we do our jobs right, it should be a special, addition to the series.
Well, that's the key word, special, and that's what I see with DMC. I'm really, really hyped for this, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man.